Looks more better.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Seems a little bit better. Hello, chat. We didn't lie. We came back.
There you go. Thank you.
You're stuck with us.
Chuck, it was less than 5 minutes. Super fast.
Is Chuck already bitching?
He said, suddenly you guys think chat has the patience to sit on our hands for 5 minutes? Have you met us? Yep, so far so good. 0.0% drop frames.
See if that works.
Dad went out to restart OBS and never came back.
Sounds about right. Dad drinks because you cry.
Flapjack's name has reminded me of the classic Sesame Street song, Would You Like to Buy an O?
Why's that?
I don't get it. Game delay, I don't get that. Bravo Tech Squad, right? All Christopher. OBS has been acting super funky since the last update, said Roadside Miniatures.
I don't know that we apply updates. We try to avoid applying updates for OBS around here.
Happy little booster, we are in Phoenix, Arizona, if that's what you're asking. All right, yeah, everything seems to be going along just right. Do we do tours? You mean like, can people come and take a tour? Absolutely.
It's not as awesome as it was 2 weeks ago.
We've done a little rearranging here, and all the super exciting stuff, paint production, happens somewhere else now.
Yeah, paint production is 5 miles down the road.
So in this building,
our parking lot has got a lot more parking spaces.
Fantastic. It's so nice. I get a good spot almost every day.
Because half our crew now parks at the other building.
They're 5 miles away. Yeah, we got real big, and we ran out of room. And we own this building, so we had to figure it out. So we found a good place 5 miles away, and the crew has production up and running at the second location. And here we've got the stream and all the marketing and all the fulfillment. Hairdo, hello. Slow day at work so you can hang out. Awesome.
You
Does
don't
the tour
work.
include a bus ride now? No. Uh-oh. Gabe said, your meetings have been moved. No excuses now. I think that means you get to take the day off.
That's not true.
Have my meetings been moved? Probably not. Booker, you're going to be in Phoenix? I mean, you're welcome to still come by. There's still, you know, our fulfillment, the stream room is still here. We're still here.
Yeah, the only big change is production.
Yep.
Production is across town now.
Game delay. Philip said that earlier, and I don't think I got a chance to comment on it. But it's the stream title today is Paint With Us on Christmas Eve. And Game delay said, I have relatives who refer to the day before Christmas Eve as Christmas Adam. And Philip said that earlier. Isn't it Christmas Adam?
Oh, that's funny, actually.
Hot Tomato had that happen at your old building, then COVID happened and a bunch of people stayed working from home. Unfortunately, there is no work from home when you gotta
make stuff.
and then ship that stuff.
Unless you
Hobbyist
have a very
printer-
large home.
Well, that's true. And you don't mind 25 other people showing up at your house every day.
Yeah.
Hobbyist printer wants to know what model this is. I know it's from Trench
This is the War
Crusade.
Priest from the Trench Pilgrims. We have been painting up some Trench Pilgrims from Trench Crusade. We've got a lot of the big baddies. Now we're doing some of the smaller. Not done with any of them. I'm just kind of motoring through and getting stuff done. But this is the War Priest. There is a castigator, kind of like a basically like a commissar for them that drives the hordes onward. And then, of course, we have a bajillion trench pilgrims who are barefoot ecclesiastic maniacs with shotguns.
Oh, Philip.
Castigator? What if you want to throw a crock? Keep your shoes to yourself, Phil.
Game Delay said I would absolutely climb in a tour bus if Chris or Gabe were the tour guides.
Eh.
We'll get him a bicycle. We'll get one bicycle and one helmet. And you have to hold on to the back. And one of them will ride the bike and be the tour guide along the way. And then you guys have to, the two of you have to fight over who gets the helmet.
I like this idea.
Ooh, Gabe booed Phil for saying he wanted to throw a crock.
I think that was a justifiable boo, personally.
A rickshaw? No, I still like just one bicycle. Not if Chris is driving.
I would trust Chris on the bicycle if it was like rickshaw style before Gabe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Chris like walks at his desk while he works.
That's true. He's really coordinated. Very, very
Sorry, Gabe.
coordinated.
Sorry, Gabe. Is there a face in the window there?
I can't see
Oh,
over there. There's too much stuff in the way.
I heard
But I
Gabe.
heard him say, "Whoa!"
I heard Gabe take some offense in the other room. Some offense coming from the other room. It's kind of how it goes, guys. I'm only truthful.
Oh, Gabe's devastated.
I'm devastated. What?
Chris just says, "Nice."
Nice.
Game Delay said, "I love that we all have our specialties in chat. We look to me when we want to get the law wrong." And Chuck is actually trustworthy about safety. He does give us a lot of updates about, I don't know, a lot of people are doing things wrong at the place where Chuck works.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust Chuck at all. What are you talking about? What is the common denominator to bad days in machine shop?
He said it, not me.
You gotta look, Chuck. You gotta look, right?
You gotta look in the mirror.
If you meet one inept engineer,
Ashmedai said, "Hey Gabe, time to start reloading those meetings on the calendar." He took them away and then give them right back.
Ashman, shh. I was almost gonna get a day off. What are you talking about? Somebody went to the hospital at the machine shop today, and I wasn't there.
Oh no.
You do have to trust in Chuck. What would Chuck do? We need bracelets. Pumpkin bread, Those
Yeah.
cookies I stole that nobody else got. They're so delicious.
We still have about, I don't know, maybe
Half of them.
a dozen of those little cookies.
They're so good.
And like a third of a loaf of pumpkin bread left.
They're so good. So good.
And that's what Jason stole and took home.
I don't need that. I don't need that dang color. I need some olive flesh.
He did not, as far as well, he shared them with me, but I don't think he shared them with anyone else here.
Chuck, I won't have any negative reflection on the fact that I stole those cookies and did not allow anybody in this building other than Baby J, Gabe, Chris, and Jen to have any.
Yeah.
This thing has a mind of its own still.
Yeah.
It's like going off and then fading back on.
Yeah.
We got the custom calibrated storefront window sign controller so that it does weird crap all the time to get people to come in your store.
Phil. Gabe got the cookies.
Yeah, suck it, Phil. Phil's got to come over here every now and then. He can't just stick over there on the other side of the building.
Oh, it's definitely doing some things now. Brutal Burrito said, any tips for airbrushing skin? I have a whole army of naked dwarves I have to paint for AOS.
How do you mean by tips? What kind of tips are you looking for? Like just ways to prep and... Because airbrushing skin's no different than anything else. You're just going to want to... Jeez. Sign, settle down.
I know.
You're just gonna want to make sure that you don't leave too much shadow. Flesh can look very unnatural if it's too soft when you airbrush. Airbrushing does that out of focus soft look, so you got to be a little careful with how that turns out. I typically like to airbrush like the base colors and then go back and brush glaze over the top so that you bring some texture back into the skin, because it'll look really fake if you don't. Don't rely on the airbrush, whereas like getting smooth colors on armor and everything can look really cool on skin, it tends to just look really weird.
Papa Chicken said, I've been studying Bohun's art a lot lately, as I really like his variation in colors. Nuance, he calls it. I've been experimenting with adding more nuance to my Battletech models, but I'm struggling. I suspect the struggle is due to the smaller scale. Any suggestions?
Yeah, I mean, you got to realize that most of what he paints is like 75 millimeter busts. And there's a lot more that you can do at that scale with color, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it at smaller scales. A lot of what you'll be looking at is the same stuff we teach here, just, taking into account things like magentas and, whatever. We paint with a lot of undertones to everything that we do here so that you get more depth to it. It's not just, blue space marine. Even as something as simple as the Blood Angels that we do. Right, with the blues as the shadow for the reds, makes it a lot more interesting than just red. Right, so it starts with things as simple as that. Trying to take too drastic of a step in how you would normally paint to get there is going to cause you problems, because you need a better understanding of your not only probably value and volume, but color temperature. Because you're picking colors that are going to work well but are in contrast with each other, aside from the general palette colors, right? Like I'm just painting these with like the colors. We're basing, layering, and highlighting. This is a very simple army painting style paint job that we're doing. But I'm still starting with all of my skin from a royal purple. If I wanted to take it to the next step, I would use a lot more magenta on the skin before applying the actual skin tones. Maybe some jades, things like that. So those colors, the royal purple, the magenta, and the jade have to work in a way that you're familiar with before you can know that they're going to do what you want them to do with skin tone over them. You can't just slop a bunch of colors together, right? It's going to be that you're going for one to be warmer, one to be cooler, one to be, like when I talk about underpainting flesh is kind of the best way to look at that. Whether you're glazing over the top or underpainting is irrelevant because you're using them in the same way. So I would start with just one, like doing something like a royal purple underneath a model, right? Like when we did this guy, right? Starting with the royal purple on as the base for everything gives you a really cool twist to the shadows. Rather than the shadows being brown or black or gray for white fur, they're royal purple. And then out of the royal purple, bringing the blues, and then finally doing the whites off of that gives us a really neat look, right? And has a lot of nuance of control. And I had some jade on there too. So again, just a really simplified version of that. But once you get used to doing it, you'll start finding colors that you drift to quite frequently that can do some really fun stuff. Dark purple works pretty well too. I've been known to use some dark purple. I've really been loving royal purple as an undertone for colors, for models that I want to be a little bit brighter than normal. And that's funny to say that because I'm using it on these Trench Crusade models. But the purple gives me a good base for the skin that looks a little bit more bruised. The royal purple will show through a little bit more than dark purple will. So it's been fun to use that.
Hi, Ghost Hunter. Ashmedai said, when you guys go to conventions, do Jason or Jordan do any classes, or is it all hands in the booth all the time to deal with volume?
Generally, it's all hands in the booth. I have meetings that I have to go to a lot of the time, so sometimes I'm not even in the booth. Depends on the show. As often as I would like. But, yeah, we do, like, hands-on painting at the booth. The first class that we will teach, it will be me at Adepticon, believe it or not.
Jordan taught at
WonderCon.
Yeah,
he did some basic intro to painting at WonderCon this last year. That was a lot of fun.
I know he really enjoyed it and would like to find an opportunity to teach more.
We love that kind of interaction. It's very difficult to get enough time to do so.
But did we catch that Jason's gonna teach a class at Adepticon?
Yeah, I'm teaching my first class since 2018 at Adepticon this year with the wonderful people from Atomic Mass Games. I'm doing a class with Atomic Mass, or for Atomic Mass, however you want to say it. I am doing a class where you will come and learn my what we show you on stream every day, which is taking 3 colors and turning them into 5, and how I layer coloring with, that kind of a base. And we're doing it on Crimson Dynamo, one of the characters from Marvel Crisis Protocol. So you'll come in and walk away with the Crimson Dynamo model that I show you how to paint red metallic without any metallics. Not that it's not a non-metallic course. It'll just be layering up red armor on Crimson Dynamo. It'll be a really good paste at your own speed kind of a thing, where I give just the basics of how to look at layering color and how to use colors to get more out of them.
Paint Liquor, we've been talking about it for years. As soon as we have the time, the facility, and
what's that? Something here?
Yeah. Paint Liquor said, makes me wish there were local monument courses. Hint, hint.
Time is the big thing. It sucks, but by the end of the day, we're all beat. And to do more is rough. But doesn't mean it won't ever happen.
No,
we've talked about it. We would like to do some events that are kind of, paint focus events, where we might come for a handful of days and paint with either one of us or some of our signature artists or other guests. We've got all sorts of plans we would love to see happen. It's just very hard to pull them off.
Scientologist Crimson Dynamo is a miniature, right?
Yeah, Crimson
Yes.
Dynamo is a character from Marvel Comics. One of the Iron Man bad guys.
And Ashmedai, he is a fantastic teacher. I've learned how to paint from him. And lots of people here on Twitch and YouTube have learned as well. Lumberbean said, any chance he'll be teaching a class at Nova next summer?
It's funny, I have a meeting coming up with the Nova team. It's not impossible. They do their classes a lot differently there. They're very, not differently, they're both very structured as shows, but Nova has a bigger expectation for the classes. Like as an artist, you do more than just one. I don't know that I can offer enough time to do more than just one class. So that would be the question for my commitment level at something like Nova. My buddy Dan runs all the classes there. So that one's tougher for me to, I don't want to commit to him to doing 4 or 5 classes over the course of the weekend, because I have to admit, I get kind of burnt out with it as well.
But that's something else that we've talked about as well. There's a really cool game retreat called Valhalla in the fall. And we've thought for a long time. I mean, Jason and I went to it a few years ago and thought that it would be fantastic to have something like that with more of a hobby focus.
Yeah.
Because there was no hobby focus at that one. Lots of things on the wish list, lots of things on the whiteboard.
That one is a tough one because we want to do it here.
Yeah. We haven't found a place.
And finding an event space
in the Phoenix area.
That would allow us to do that is really tough.
Yeah, because the Valhalla in the fall is in Utah. Sort of near Salt Lake City, but still like an hour away from the airport and stuff. So not super convenient, but very cool. Pro Paint Taster. Who might that be? Said, hello, party people from Production Land. No one that we know would be a paint taster.
I think that was Grant. Changed his...
Grant?
Yep.
You know better. We don't eat the paint here. Game delay, it's awesome. It's at the Timber Wolf Lodge or the Timber Moose Lodge.
Timber Moose or something like Timber Elk.
Which is a super fun venue. Very cool.
I think it is like Timber Moose, maybe.
I think it was Timber Moose.
They're not doing it in the fall this time.
No?
No, they're doing it in spring.
Valhalla in the spring?
They're just calling it Valhalla now because I don't think they have the ability to guarantee they can get the event hall every time they want it.
Interesting.
Or maybe they missed out on making their mind up if they were doing it in time. And I haven't talked to Miranda about it. Huh. I saw them at Nova and meant to ask if it was coming up. And I did not. Miranda, Wargamer Girl, her husband... run Valhalla and are also part of the Nova Open ownership group. They all pitched in and are shareholders in the Nova Open. So good stuff.
Obviously, it's because they didn't call it Valhalla.
That's low-hanging fruit that was missed.
Game delay, it is pricey, but all inclusive. And the food is amazing. They have a private caterer who comes in and does all the, did. Again, we don't know if it's going to happen or when, but yeah, it's definitely a vacation. Yeah. Like you'd have to look at it as like a vacation, and it's what people would spend their vacation budget doing. But it is all inclusive. You don't have to go anywhere. You arrive and everything is just there for you. They bring in loads of snacks and drinks and
It's amazing.
Games galore, like any game you could possibly imagine you would want to play, they have.
Yep.
It's a really cool event.
One of the local gaming stores up there brings in all the gaming tables and terrain, and there's usually somebody that shows up with a bunch of magic packs to draft, and it is literally morning to night nerd heaven.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Some people don't sleep hardly at all. 24-hour gaming.
A lot of people gaming in their pajamas.
Yep.
Some drinking.
The hot tub. It's
Yep,
really fun.
there's a hot tub.
Yeah. Swifter Bear said this may have been asked before, but what got you guys into the hobby? Well, the quick answer is that Jason has been playing games since he was a kid, and then I only know about it because of him. So I didn't even know any of this stuff existed until like 2016, probably. There you go, game delay. That's it. That's always the biggest, one of the biggest expenses of travel is the airfare. And you're just right there.
You're right there. It's down the road from you. Yeah, I have been, I got introduced to tabletop gaming, I guess, outside of just, board games as a kid growing up. D&D, Starfleet Battles, Battletech were the big ones in like the very early 80s, late 70s for those respectively. And so for me, the takeaway, I think, very quickly became the miniatures. I loved them. And long before I knew anything about painting them, just holding a little, pewter warrior in your hand that represented your character in Dungeons and Dragons to me was great. So that's how it all started. And back, this is, like I said, this is 70s and 80s, guys. So there was not a lot of communication. There was not a lot of availability of information. Hell, there weren't stores that sold this stuff. I learned my first basic painting techniques for miniatures from a guy who was just an employee working at the college bookstore that was called, maybe it was called the University Bookstore. That was on University Boulevard in Dallas, Texas.
I feel like all colleges had a bookstore called University.
Yeah, like the University Books or something like that, or something like that. I don't remember, but and at Southern Methodist University, it was the little private bookstore, or privately owned bookstore off campus, right across the street from Southern Methodist University in Dallas. My grandmother lived down the street from it, and so I would get to go up there every now and then. I could walk as I got older. I could walk up there and hang out at the bookstore, looking at books, and of course that was the only place that had D&D modules hanging on a rack and comic books. And the guy behind the counter would sit there painting models when nobody was in there during the day. And, I was really intrigued, and I would ask him questions, and bless him, he would answer my stupid questions. And I've been painting ever since. I've had a love for it. It was kind of my very inwardly nerdy personal hobby for decades before I finally jumped out and said, you know what? I want to share this passion I have with other people, and started streaming painting so that we could help teach other people what that guy at the bookstore taught me. Well, he didn't really teach me much. I wasn't in true learning mode. I was way too young. But he got me on a path to go figure out how to do this stuff, and it was great. So, welcome. All these years later, which is a lot of years, by the way, we're still here.
Chuck said, does Jason or anyone else have any insight or opinions on two-part epoxy sculpting compounds like green stuff versus Milliput or another brand? If one or the other, why?
So the right answer is multiples. I like epoxy sculpt with an A. Two-part epoxy putty, epoxy sculpt. I like epoxy sculpt for building forms. I like something akin to green stuff for doing details. green stuff is more flexible. The colors basically are all about the hardness of them, right? So I think that brown may be the hardest. I don't remember exactly, but you've got brown, and then you've got white. White may be the most brittle and hard. I don't remember. But in the world of like milliput, you can look all that up and find out which one. It's like plumber's putties, right? That they would use as two-part plumber's putties to stop leaks in pipes they couldn't get to cut. And but green stuff is more flexible, so green stuff is great for details. Epoxy Sculpt, the A, is just a little bit better for me overall for sculpting the core body and such. And then that's really it. I mean, you could just run with those two, but a lot of people will add in like milliput brown or white in there too. The milliput white is great for doing teeth. Things like teeth or weapons where you want to do something that isn't going to change. It just needs to be a hard, like surface material, weapon, metal, shield, something like that. Sculpt that out of something that's a little bit harder. And then watch a ton of videos if you plan on sculpting. You can figure out how to build your maquettes and armatures right to make your life a lot easier. We used to do some sculpting on stream. We've sculpted the better part of 2 characters on stream. A bomb snail character that was really cool. And then a War Machine Hordes character.
I just noticed that all of my miniatures are gone from that bookcase.
Yeah, he's moving all those in prep for the redo.
Yeah.
He was moving anything that was non-essential for the next couple of days of stream. I told him he can move everything. He just has to be prepared for me to yell at him if it's one of the ones I need. So I don't think any of these got touched. How to sculpt your first time after a plastic cement incident. Def, do your research first. Makes it easy. It's pretty fun. I've back when I used to do one-on-one tutorials, online tutorials, I did a couple of sculpting ones where people wanted to learn how to sculpt fur or things like that. So I've done a fair amount of sculpting. I'm not ready to go toe-to-toe with the Shiflett brothers or anything, but I get it. I understand the greater nuances, and it is a ton of fun. I think that if I had my way, if I could spend more time in the hobby doing any one thing in particular, it would probably be doing more sculpting. Physical, old world sculpting, not digital. Digital doesn't, while it's cool, doesn't get me going the same way. I like the creating from a blob of clay mentality. It really is amazing.
Christopher's moving out non-essential stream stuff. Is that why you moved out, baby J? Heyo. And now I feel guilty. Game delay. He knows that we love him.
He doesn't anymore.
Right, he's not here right now to hear that.
He's lurking in chat. He's lurking in chat, making sure chat loves him when he's not here. And you have failed, Baby J. Baby J trusted you. And you proved why that is not a good plan.
Enjoying a much-deserved vacation. Your name have to start with J to be on this stream? It does, which is why when Gabe comes in, we call him Jabe.
Turns out wooden crosses are a little fiddly. A lot of grain going in a lot of different directions here.
British Panda made me say it.
Hey, don't throw awkwardish under the bus. That's a Baby J move.
Tadpole is what? Why you haven't seen Shelby? Shelby is super busy. Her role here changed a little bit. She's working with our sales team, getting the stores all set up, making sure it's store that you can buy Pro Grill in your local store. Doing a great job. Oh, because her name doesn't start with J. Yeah, we call her Jelby. Actually, we don't.
She's schlebby.
She's schlebby. She's the exception. So is Shannon.
Fisher Queen.
Fisher Queen. Kim DeLay said, I'm just going after all the nice people now.
Nobody's safe?
No one's safe. Wad Tomatoes next.
Wait, you just called Wad nice.
Kim DeLay did.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kim DeLay's turned a corner. He said Wad was a nice person.
Swifter Bear, we do what we can. It's work for sure. But we hope that we have an environment where people feel like their work is not so bad. Or even if, it's work, but I have cool people that I get to work with. So.
I feel like we nail it pretty well.
Yeah. Monument Phil said my name starts with an N. Yes, it does.
New guy.
New guy Philip.
New guy Philip. All right, can I be done with wood color now? Yes. Maybe? No.
Snake River 3D, we are in Phoenix, Arizona.
Bud, we hope so. It means nothing more than when we hear employees and customers talk about, how great it is to be part of this.
Yeah.
I would have never suspected all those years ago when Jen and I started doing this crazy thing that would lead so many people to finding friends and, nerd family along the way. It's great.
Yeah, not everyone here paints miniatures or plays games or anything, but they all get it, I guess is the best way to say it. They all understand what we're doing and what our goals are, and a lot of them have developed an interest in gaming and painting through working here. But yeah, we got a lot of people who hang out outside of work that play games together. A lot of guys play cards together.
Yeah, we got some real hot dog card players.
Just do non-work related things, like they go out to concerts and things together, and yeah, it's a good group.
Half the company goes on vacation when it's Gabe's birthday.
Yeah.
Freaking guys. Wow.
We're fine, Bob. We don't need any cold air. We're good.
Who's trying to give us cold air?
Big Bobzilla.
Rude.
Propane Taster said since starting at Monument, my finger painting skills have improved.
Yes. That's a win in my book. I'll just get a whole bunch of water on the brush and then the transparent brown down, and then we just paint the whole area of wood with the transparent brown.
Chuck being all fancy and clean. Said wash my paint cup for a third time today.
Show off.
Nothing exploded. Well, I mean, if you want things to explode, maybe you should leave things in your cup longer.
Are you even trying? Transparent brown is so good. I didn't do it.
One on YouTube did it.
It wasn't me.
That guy took with bells on to another level.
There's a lot of that in this army. A lot of making noise as we go across the... We're not trying to stealth it up here. The trench pilgrims are not trying to sneak up on you. A lot of bells. A lot of need for attention happening here. This is what happens when you get poor parenting.
Any mini recommendations for what? Snake River.
Just painting in general?
Just to paint in general? Well, where would you even start?
What do you like?
Yeah.
We're big fans of the rule of cool around here. The mini you like the looks of, no matter what it is the mini you will paint better. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, Jason's been painting these. Jason and Jordan both have been painting these Trench Crusade models. Are you guys actually going to play the game? I mean, at some
No
point,
comment.
maybe.
I would like to say yes.
Yes.
Me and playing games is generally me lying when I say yes. So there are enough people here at the office that are planning on getting Trench Crusade armies going, though.
Yeah, that
that
maybe you'd actually.
I'm a big joiner
Yeah.
when I see everybody having fun.
Good. I hope that you guys do get to play.
So I'm putting that on them. No pressure to the rest of my staff, but there you go. That's the easy way to get really good looking wood.
Game Delay said it's sound camouflage. On the battlefields, being quiet would attract attention.
Yes. Pay no mind to the bells over there.
But Snake River, we make these products called texture trainers, and they're really cool to paint. They're a little bit bigger. They're like little medallions, and they give you all kinds of different textures and different painting techniques that you can try. That's one of them.
The texture trainer. See, they're about 60 It's 60 millimeters diameter across the back. And so the model extends beyond that. They're made for people that would like to practice painting or try painting, but want a little bit bigger surface, so you don't have to try to do the eyes on something the head is smaller than your pinky nail, right? So you can play around with them. They let you have a lot of fun, and they're neat art pieces at the end of the day when you're done that you can be very proud of. But we've got the crone. We've got one called the Hunter, who's kind of a sci-fi bounty hunter type. And then we have the Warrior, which I don't know where the Warrior is. I don't have a Warrior over here. It doesn't appear. You can find them on the site. Very cool. Loads of fun to paint.
Sarcastic Grandpa, that set includes a Pro Synthetic 00, a 2, and a 4, and they're exactly the same except for the handles. So our regular Pro Synthetic 00, 2, 4 that are on our website, same as what's in that set.
At 60 millimeters, they're made to be terrible proxies for tabletop games. Can you imagine trying to move your texture trainers around the battlefield? It'd be like the old GW game, the 40K that had just the busts. Had like a Sister of Battle bust and a Space Marine and a Chaos guy and a Cultist and a Tzeentch Sorcerer or something. Anybody remember this? Imperial Guardsman? What was that called? Mo would know. If anybody knows, it's Mo.
Awkwardish Panda said, chat's awfully squirrely today. Must be a holiday week. They started this on Friday. There were some real spicy comments on Friday in chat. So yeah. We're all in vacation mode.
I'm painting with a cheat color right now, chat. Sorry, not sorry.
Mo said, what's the question? Sorry. I don't know.
The what was the game, Mo, that GW came out with where you had all the busts that you played? Remember? He's like, what are you talking about?
Kenneth the Red, I heard you mention that you have shipped out all orders from Black Friday a long time ago. Was that just direct orders, or does that include LGS orders also? I ordered a brush vault through my LGS. It hasn't come in yet, but the couple of small things I ordered directly from you have arrived. So we don't, if you got something from your LGS, they'll fulfill it for you. We don't send that to you.
I think he's asking if we filled all the LGS, and yes,
all
the store orders are caught up, have been for a long time. Stores generally get stuff at the same time, if not quicker. It's a different group, and while the orders are bigger, they get handled as they come in.
But yeah, if they ordered something, like if you had to place an order with them for a product from us, that you would have to check with them to see if they've received it.
And make sure they ordered it.
Yeah, make sure that they really ordered it. Because we don't have the ability to know what they have on their shelves. But yes, as long as their order was, completed. Like if they completed everything on their end, then they should have had it a long time ago.
Some stores will take like custom orders and then they won't.
Yeah.
They'll wait for the rest of their order to get big enough because they get shipping discounts on based on order size.
Yeah.
So they can always wait a little bit longer. Things of that nature. So.
Yeah, like Awkwardish Panda said, you're gonna love the brush vault. Hopefully, you believe it's worth the wait. It's a good one.
It's very good. Very, very good.
Chuck cleaned his brushes and had to wash the paint cup a 4th time today. Regardless of what Jason says, doing dishes is safe, friends.
Oh, what am I supposed to do with you guys?
Jade's, though, sticking with you, not cleaning the cup.
Yeah, I'm not cleaning the cup. I'm with you, Jade.
Too
Cleaning
bad
cups
brush
is for
faults don't come
nerds.
in red anymore.
Cleaning cups is for nerds. Nobody needs a clean cup. I don't know what to do with my clean cup. Doesn't even make sense. Why would you do that to a person?
T. Schmidt, are you flaunting your red brush fault?
Uh-oh. I have a red one.
You have a red one?
Uh-huh.
Ashmedai said, I like my paint cup absolutely covered in crusted mica and aluminum. I mean, Jason's is normally like that, but he just gave that away.
It just feels like the right way. I don't know why, but it just does. It just feels like that's the way it should look. I'm not saying you need a dirty cup, but it feels like you're using it. Like, I don't trust clean tools.
Game Day said, I worry that Chuck is one of those immoderate water drinkers. Although having mead would have prevented all the illnesses in the colonies. I prefer my water after it's been filtered through a brewery. I mean, Mo, we've still got lots and lots and lots of paint in the building because we have to send it to people. They're just not here making it. They're doing that 5 miles away, and then they're bringing it over here. So, no need to fret. We will always have paint. If anybody runs out on stream, we still have plenty.
I love it.
Replenish.
Like, yeah, like we still do exactly the same thing. We just do it so much more that it couldn't all live in the same building until we can get a new building. Our
They have
goal is to
walk it
have
over,
another
yep.
building, but
They carry it, so it we put the paint when it's in. Once it gets in the bottles, we put them in these like big storage tubs, like big plastic storage tubs, and yeah, each guy gets to put one, carry it up on his head, like the water buckets, and they have to walk 5 miles.
builds character.
Yeah. In the summer, they have to run because it's too hot.
Monument Hobbies is doing our part to replace bad parenting. We are becoming the good parents these kids should have had. Are you dead yet?
Actually, we make phone calls all day long between locations. Like, all right, I got this order, and it has a bottle of Bull Titanium White, and it has a bottle of Shadow Flesh, and it has a bottle of Bronze.
And they just bring that
Bring
over.
those over. Bye.
We're going for
And
efficiency
then they
here.
call back a minute later. Okay, I got another order, and uphill both ways, of course. Does that mean there's space now for brush handle things? I mean, one would think. But that's at the other place, too. A pneumatic tube system between the buildings. Like the bank drive-in.
That's the best idea chat's ever had. I'm down. Wonder how much that'd cost.
Hurry, they ran out on stream. Throw the replacement paints on the tour bus. Bicycle, remember? One of the new paint cups out there has a knobbed bottom to help get the paint out of the brush. Don't use that. It's really bad for your brush. Well, checkmate. I have stalagmites growing out of my cup that do that job for free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should never submerge your whole brush in water like that. Keep the handle dry. Make that just something you do. The handle doesn't need to be washed, so why you're putting it in the cup? I add a bunch of water on my brush so that I have a very, very thin glaze of this yellow ochre, like so. And I'm going to do that in the darker spots here that I've created in between my blends. I'll tie these sides together. Yeah, it's not, you know, it's so hard, right? I don't know. It's so hard to get across to people that you can clean your brush without like running over it or putting it through tremendous agitation, right? Like we show you, just lightly clean it in your palm of your hand and you're fine. Those nubs on the bottom of the glass are such a shtick. It's like, it's just, I mean, I just want to sell you more stuff. Mm-hmm. You don't need that stuff, right?
So some good soap, some water.
Now you realize paintbrush handles like doorknobs are probably extremely dirty. Yes. Yes. But they keep you alive. Paintbrush handles have all the good bacteria on them. Cordell says, what's your take on pigment powders? How do you mean? They can be very useful. Like for weathering and stuff, very useful. He has a condom on that Warhammer. It's a shape charge. It's a blast hammer. It's a one-time shape charge that when it rings your bell, it really rings your bell. Rattlecan, you're loving your gray paper palette? It's so awesome, right? It's just too easy. You never have to fight it. You just paint. When it comes down to it, man, I am a simple painter. You can do amazing things by just putting the paint on the palette and then put the paint on the model. You don't have to mess around with it too much if you have, number one, a really good paint, right? And a will to want to paint more than you want to mess around with your colors and all this crazy stuff that people tell you got to do. Stop it. Put your paint on the model. It's easy. Cordell says, do you have any ideas on own spin on that? What do you mean? Own spin on what?
Maybe pigment powders?
Oh, the pigment powders? We've thought about it. It's very difficult to package in a safe environment. And remember, since we make all our own stuff, having loose pigment requires respirators, vents, and ventilation, and more clean area stuff, because it can get away from you. Somebody sneezes, and all of a sudden it's a disaster.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah. So that kind of stuff we've got to think about. But yeah, we've thought about it. We've thought about having a third party that packages that for us. Same way we're doing with the tube paints, right? Because we don't have the facility to do the heavy-bodied acrylics in tubes. Our machinery that we've invested in is liquid into bottles. It doesn't do it into tubes. And then there's equipment that has to crimp the tube and shape the tube and all that stuff. So we don't have all that. Shape charge Warhammer, that's crazy. Yeah, these are fanatical nutcases, so they don't really have a whole lot of... they have a lot of wanton disregard for self. So she'll run up as she preaches the narrative and then just bang the bad guy with the shape charge and just take the damage herself too. The person wielding the hammer, I think, in the game takes 1 blood token, which is basically a wound.
Ghost Hunter said, I prefer my pigment powders packaged in medium. Yes.
Correct. We do that as well.
Ashmedai said, I can attest to pigment powders being a mess with simple mistakes, like breathing.
Like breathing, yep. You can imagine, like, powdered sugar on a powdered donut, and you go in, you breathe in right before you take a bite, and all of a sudden you're, like, coughing for 6 days. As Jen's been fighting a cough for a couple days.
No powdered sugar involved.
Yeah. Don't Deathcore horsemen have shape charges on that? I believe so, yes. I mean, that was a thing in World War II. The Japanese had crazy dudes that would run at the tanks with shape charges on the end of a piece of bamboo and smack the tank with a shape charge. You make fishing lures, the glitter can be hell. That's why it's in my basement. Yeah, glitter's never good to have to explain glitter. All right, I think I want. That was.
Oh,
I might want red oxide.
Did you
actually.
see the
Orange red?
The Himalaya Playa?
I think I'll do orange red.
Which I just want to say that name.
Himalaya
again.
Playa.
Himalaya Playa. Don't deathcore.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Is I think they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
The Metachrist
coughing.
demands. Yes, we need martyrs. So here are your martyrs. It turns out. I might want. I think I want red oxide actually. What do I got out here? I got burnt red.
Cordell, that's it. Cordell said, I figured you generally do stuff a little different than the rest of the industry. So if you bring powders, they would be improved in a certain way. And if we can't see a way to improve them, it's not something that's high priority for us to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but we've got it on our calendar to look at. It's just a matter of it's definitely not a high priority. There are a lot of companies that make pretty good powders, but a lot of them are competitors, right? So it's like if that's the only place you can find it, sometimes it's like, well.
Cockroach Panda said there's glitter everywhere in my studio right now because snow globe nonsense. But it sounds fun. Glitter for a cause, at least.
I'm gonna remember that, babe.
Glitter for a cause?
No.
No problem with glitter.
The other day, some random unknown reason, I had glitter on my forehead.
It was the day after our Christmas party.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I had glitter on my forehead, and I walked into the bathroom and I go, before this becomes an issue.
Yes, there is glitter right here. No, I don't know where it came from.
That's exactly what I said. There was like one glitter.
Yeah.
Not
One
glitter.
little fleck of
One
glitter.
speck of gold glitter right on my forehead. And I just walked into her bathroom and I go, honey, we need to have a talk. And she didn't know what I was talking. She gives me this look and I go, I don't want it to be an issue. I don't want this to get blown out of hand. So before anything happens, yes, there's glitter on my forehead. No, I don't know where it came from. And then I turned around and walked out. I was just looking in the mirror as I was brushing my teeth. I was like, what
What's
is on my
that?
forehead? I'd already taken a shower. Had no idea what was
Glitter
going
does
on.
not care. Glitter will find a way.
It's like the packing stuff.
Oh my God. When all the boxes got moved out of my office, there were like 4 pieces of green crinkle paper on the floor.
Yeah, right. They multiply.
Where did the green? I mean, I know there was a whole box of it in Philip's office, but that was discovered well after the boxes were put in there. So it was very weird. Someone at the party knows where the glitter came from.
One of those dastardly womans.
Oh, honey, this glitter came from a charity. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Glitter from Yesenia's tamales. We hadn't gotten the tamales at that point. But let me tell you, Jason and I both had the tamales. And they are amazing. They are so good.
100% amazing tamales.
Did he wash his face with the water from his old paint cup? Maybe.
That could have been it. That could have been it. This just isn't right, chat. You see what I do to myself?
Even brown.
I'm like, you know what?
still
The
too
next
clean.
winter gets my paint cup. I feel bad now. I've done this to myself. It's not even like that. What is that? That's not even use. It's a clean tool and I hate it.
Exactly, Punisher. Next on the stage, charity. we knew where that was going.
This is charity glitter. I swear to you. 100%.
It's the odd question. If one person at a hobby night uses glitter, how many people have glitter in their projects?
All of them. It's like cat hair.
The old paint cup is on its way to Germany.
Was the winner from Germany?
I don't know. Was that the one that got the mega set?
The all in?
Is that the mega set?
Was that person from Germany?
The mega set is for someone in Germany.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the paint cup and all that goes to them too.
I was going to have PK Pro send it.
Huh?
I was going to have PK Pro send it.
Oh, you can do that for the paints.
Okay.
And then we'll just ship a box with
Somebody
the...
likes us.
Cactus to do. Thank you for the follow. It's 3:47.
3:47?
Yeah.
That's not possible. Time's lying. Some orange red. The line, what experience of time, the linear experience of time gives me anxiety?
Punisher, we actually will do that. That's funny. You might be joking, but that's actually how we'll do it. Because they have an order that's going to be going out soon. Did you stream for an extra hour? I'm not done working, said Game Delay. I'm not
Unfortunately,
done working either,
I have 2 phone meetings at 4.
That's the thing, is that you have 2?
Yeah.
How can you do both of them at 4?
Well, I don't know. I told one of them to not expect me to be there on time, and asked the other one if they could move to 4:30. And then I went to stream, so I don't know. So I'm here wondering what happens at 4. It's a crapshoot. I don't know.
It's 2 years, one on each side.
Somebody will be happy, and somebody will be mad at me.
Awkwardish Panda, we're here tomorrow too. And then that's it until after the new year. Just get them to talk to each other. Job done. Problem solved.
That would be great.
Deadbeat artists fixing things.
One of them is a banker, and the other one is Nova Open.
Oh, do I have a call then too? I didn't know about this.
He sent an email right before stream.
Oh. Oh, I see. Great.
End of year is so fun.
Grant? We're gonna have to send someone over there. That's not how we do things.
Grant's got a little too big for his britches now that he's over in his own house.
That is how, yes, Ghost Hunter has it right. That's how we test green. Grant said, just finished green. It tastes ready, so we bottled it. Ghost Hunter said, did you throw it at Phil? Because that is the correct way to test green.
Thank God Phil's here and they're there, but Grant's doing that na Jen can't get me. He doesn't know that she knows where the building is.
I sure do.
Jen's been there. Jen knows where you are.
No wild Phil's around.
So it tastes ready, so we bottled
measures.
it. No wild Phil's
Get over
around.
there. Talk some sense into them.
Yeah, Deadbeat's like, she can drive, you know. She has a car, too.
Yep.
We could even go incognito and take a Waymo.
Take a Waymo.
Take an AI-driven car.
Nothing to do. Exactly. Santa's got nothing on me. I know all.
Some bright yellow ochre to go with that yellow ochre.
Waymo problems. Yeah, the Waymos are the problem. I don't trust Waymo either, Tosca.
The problem is people saying that it would be so much better if people just didn't drive. It's like, wouldn't it be better if the people that drove paid attention to their driving?
That would be better. Yes.
There used to be a time where people understood that your car
That's the
can
real
kill
solution,
things.
is just pay attention to what you're doing. Operating a very large, heavy piece of equipment. Way more problems. Like, I got way more problems than that.
I got way more problems than that.
Awkwardish Panda, I think you might be right. Awkwardish Panda said we need a giant shame bell like the Game of Thrones to ring and yell donate the paint while we walk around the warehouse.
I'd go for that.
But my phone.
Yeah,
What if I miss an important message?
Trust me, if you're asking that, you don't have any important messages.
More important than your life?
Yeah. You're asking that question, you do not have an important message.
If I'm supposed to pay attention, then why does my car have a giant screen up in the front?
People that can distinguish what is actually important know that driving is the most important thing you're doing when you're in your car behind the wheel.
Oh, yeah, no, Mr. Blue, for sure. They're making it easy. Or they think they're making it easy for people to be bad drivers and to not pay attention. It's infuriating. I don't need my car to yell at me if I drift over into the next lane because I should know that I've drifted over into the next lane. I definitely don't need my car to apply the brakes for me.
Oh my God.
I don't need it to tell me that the person ahead of me has moved up.
I will
determine when it's time for me to go.
Oh, it's so funny. I like the Starbucks drive-thru.
These are all things that my car does that I cannot stand. I'm not drifting into other lanes, but other people who are on their phones are drifting into other lanes.
We got her wound up, chat.
Oh, I'm so wound up. Frowski, car's auto braking is terrible. That causes accidents. I didn't know it was a thing until the first time I experienced it while I was driving.
Yeah, our car goes brrr, like
it's the
for
most
no
terrifying
reason.
thing ever.
And to know that it can just do it when something gets in the way of the sensor, that's even better.
So bad.
Some people wonder how the human race will go out. We will go out on the hill of convenience.
Yep. In this room, Anakin, you are.
That enjoys your car's auto braking and self-driving capabilities? Yeah, probably.
In this room, you are in the minority. There are two of us here, and you and two of us don't like it.
I had Jen's car one day just auto brake for no reason. There was not even anybody in front of me, and it was just going down the street, and all of a sudden,
leaf or something in the
and it's like it's the same as the anti. It doesn't do solid braking; it just pumps the brakes repeatedly, very quickly, right? So it's a very jerky, kind of annoying, loud. Bah! It's a technology I can live without. Yeah, give me a good old ABS. Yeah, anti-lock brake system stuff. Right, when you have to brake fast, and it rather than locking your brakes up so you skid, it hits them very fast. That's what it does. It just hits them very fast. I was like, what is going on? The front end of her car dips real low, and I'm like, I'm doing like 35 miles an hour. The car in behind me nearly slams into me, and I'm like, there's literally nothing here, dude. No cat in the road, no car in front of me, no curb, just going down the street. So I was convinced that there was something in front of the sensor or something. T. Schmidt, that would be horrible, dude.
No.
Yeah, I could do without any of that nonsense. Just let me drive. Just let me drive.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Malev, what's happening?
Christmas Eve. I turn off the lane detection. That's the one that I was able to turn it off once and I don't have to worry about it anymore. The auto start thing is another terrible feature that I have to turn off every single time.
Yeah, they make you turn it off. That's a horrible one. I don't know who the hell decided that they thought, or how they got passed in front of somebody, some ignorant person, that was a good idea. It's like, oh yeah, let's just make, that was the starter manufacturer industry that did that one.
Was this unexplained braking the same day as the unexplained glitter? Could there be a connection?
I don't know what made me accidentally hit the brake all of a sudden out of nowhere.
It's the glitter.
It was glitter. I swear. I swear to God.
I was momentarily blinded by the glitter.
Momentary blinded by glitter. With a stick shift panic bomb. I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad I don't have to drive stick in the city. I grew up driving stick. It's great until you got to drive around town all the time and start traffic. Then it just gets really old real quick. But I like my car. It doesn't do anything, although every now and then it reverts back to thinking I really would like to have the auto on off thing happen in traffic. And I have to yell at it and tell it, no, I didn't ask you to do that. Again, anytime painting a scroll, giving yourself some side-to-side texture like what you see me doing is going to be great for setting up the idea of text on it, because it can be used as the backdrop for all of the text that you make, as opposed to just painting. Just using some olive flesh, very, very thin off my brush right now. If the car can limit the stupidity of the driver, I'm all for it. Those people shouldn't be in cars. I think that's our thing we're arguing, is we've become a world where we're okay creating the cure for the symptom rather than curing the disease. And we will die on that hill of convenience is what I was meaning before, right? That's a brash statement from an old guy. Boomer yells at clouds, but that's what's going on. Is we're okay curing the symptom. Stupid drivers, right, are a symptom of not paying attention while driving. And so what we're going to do is make it easier to not pay attention while driving, as opposed to getting rid of stupid drivers. You know, people want a way to cure the amount of carbon monoxide from cars. Well, if you got rid of all the people who refuse to drive intelligently, then they'd have to take public transportation, and that would save a lot. So there you go. But like in the U.S., we won't cause people to lose their license over things like, oh, I don't know, traffic tickets or anything like that. Don't get us started. How do you make sure you have the right amount of paint on your brush when you're not diluting? I'm so used to the glazing approach, working off excess liquid on paper towel, and then when I don't do that, I'm not sure how to get the right amount of paint on the brush. Great question. I will go ahead and treat it the same way. You see my thumb palette. Even if I were going to paint opaque, like let's say I was going to use this, my brush is pretty dry, not loaded with a ton of water, and I'm going to go over here and get a little bit of olive flesh that's undiluted, right? So I've got a very opaque color. But I still, if I have a droplet on the brush, I'll still go do this and get rid of a bunch of it like that. That was a lot of paint on the end, so that when I come over here, I can still do a nice thin line with it, right? I wouldn't be able to do that if I just let that big blob of paint sit on there. So always, but the problem is with your glazing, you've been probably looking at doing it with a paper towel, like you said, and the paper towel is not going to work with the undiluted paint very well. right? Because the paper towel will soak it all off your brush, and then you'll be left with a problem of not having enough paint in the end, right? So, same thing. No matter how opaque the paint is, always come over here and maybe you just drag a couple of little lines off, right? Wear a glove if you don't want to paint on your hand or whatever. I can still tell I have too much paint on my brush there. So that's how I do it. That's how I recommend to everyone to control the amount of liquid you have on your brush at any time, because that's one of the biggest issues for painters is having too much or too little paint, and you'll get frustrated with both, right? Having too much, and it's going to be hard to control. The less diluted it is, having too much, it's just going to make mistakes, right? You're just going to wind up with big blobs of paint where you don't want them. That's never going to be good. And with very diluted paint, too much means you got now this droplet of what is about as easy to handle as a droplet of water on your model rolling around, and what are you going to do with that? So again, it makes it hard to control, hard to get it to do exactly what you want. All right. Making some progress. But we do have to jet because I have a 4 o'clock appointment that I'm 4 minutes late for. So.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, Vector, definitely. No problem. Great question. Because it's something that everybody suffers from, right? Always being able to figure out how to get the right consistency. You'll see that my way is this, right? I put the water on my brush. I leave just enough water on my brush to do the technique I'm trying to do. A lot of water if I'm trying to glaze, just a little damp if I'm just layering. Go get some paint. Make sure I don't have a big blob of paint on my brush, that it's nice, still makes a line I can test on my hand, and then I go paint on the model. And then reload your brush multiple times. Don't ever expect your brush to do a long amount of painting, right? Expect it to just do a little, but do it correctly, and you'll be a lot happier than loading your brush up with a bunch of paint so you can paint the whole cape, right? Get a little bit of paint and paint a portion of the cape, and then go get a little more and paint it again and again and again, and you'll be a lot happier with the outcome than if you get a lot of paint and you try to spread it around and you get brush strokes in it and all that kind of stuff. So good luck with the bank. Astronaut, thank you everybody for joining us. Appreciate you hanging out with us on a Monday. Hope your weekend was great. And as we head into the holidays and the Christmas season around here, I hope everybody has a wonderful plan. Remember, we are only streaming. We stream today. We'll stream tomorrow. And then the stream is done for the year after tomorrow. So we'll have our wrap-up stream tomorrow. We'll have some fun. Jen and I will be here telling bad jokes, doing a little bit of painting, answering questions. And then we'll see you off. And we're going to redo the studio in that time. So when you come back in January on the 3rd or something like that, on January 3rd, you'll have a whole new setup. This whole thing will be different. So a lot of good things coming in the new year. We'd love to have you there. Make sure that you follow all those links that Jen put in chat. Check out the store where you can buy all of our stuff. The FLGS link will send you to local gaming stores in your area, country, part of the world. We have a distribution network worldwide where you can buy Pro Acryl and Monument Hobbies goods. And then the Discord, we've got, I don't know, 5,231 people in the Discord who think that Jason has good-looking wood.
Said that.
He wrote it.
You didn't have to read it.
He wrote it. I love you guys. Great community. We love to have you in it. Join the Discord for sure. And then check out the YouTube for all of the live shows. They get cataloged in the live tab and all the other good stuff that we put out. So love your faces. Stick around. We're going to find somebody to raid, to pass this off to. Enjoy some hobby goodness into your evening. And we'll catch you back here tomorrow. Adios.
Bye, everyone.